Certain spirits are advocating that the children of God should no longer use the ceremonies of the New Testament, such as baptism, the Lord's Supper, and the Scriptures. These spirits think that such ceremonies are to be shunned because they have been abused and destroyed by the Antichrist, who imitates them without a mandate and without the witness of the heart. Therefore the ceremonies are misunderstood, abused, and stained.
This abuse cannot invalidate them for the believer who understands, uses, practices and promotes them in a correct and pure manner. The ceremonies duly instituted are valid in themselves and cannot, as a result of the Antichrist's impurity and abuse, become impure for the pure. Although the Antichrist uses them in a carnal manner, when man decides what is right, and when they are inspired by Christ's mandate of faith, spirit and truth, these ceremonies are also performed in a Christian manner and spiritual form, for they have been commended to the believers and not to those who follow the Antichrist. Consequently, neither those belonging to the Antichrist nor any others can defile the ceremonies so they are weakened or lose their power. Those who abuse them defile only themselves, but the commandment and the ordinance of Christ remain in themselves fresh, free, upright, powerful and steadfast forever. They do not age, nor are they replaced, and until his physical return are not misplaced through length of time, for they have been instituted in the New Testament and not in the Old. Thus, with respect to time, they belong in the New Testament until Christ's physical return.
Second, these spirits insist that because of the death of the apostles, there is no longer any command or witness of the Scriptures concerning ceremonies such as baptism and the Lord's Supper. Accordingly, these practices fall away, and the erring spirits are unconvinced that restitution is called for at this time. Therefore, what is needed is an external command, lest we practice the ceremonies in unbelief or with an unsteady, doubting heart and the like.
If such an argument were valid, we might well take heed not to say the Lord's Prayer in vain, or many other matters about which Jesus spoke to his disciples internally and externally. Are we now to regard the Scriptures as words spoken only to the disciples present, and as applying literally only to them at that time? That is impossible. It will be found in Scripture that such ceremonies must remain as long as there are Christians, that is, until the end of the world, for in his command to baptize, Jesus had in mind not only his present disciples, but also all future disciples throughout time to the end of the world.
Third, these spirits also say that no apostle has Christ's authority or mandate to hand over the apostolic offices to others, nor did these spirits do so. Rather, they appointed bishops to tend the flock of God. Since then, however, no one has been instructed to appoint the ruler of God's flock.
External transmission of authority or mandate does not make an apostle, even if the apostle themselves had made the appointment. If the inner mandate of Christ is not present, all is in vain. Even the external mandate of Christ to the 11 would not have been effective if he had not afterwards spiritually thrust the mandate into the heart of their bosom. In the worldly realm, those in authority externally hand that authority on to others, but not in the spiritual realm. Here it depends on the hidden power which Christ alone gives through his Spirit. Christ did not restrict his command, word, grace or ceremonies to the first apostles and churches. His word and power and the outpouring of his Spirit have no end. Whoever has been inwardly baptized with belief and the Spirit of Christ in his heart will not despise the external baptism and the Lord's Supper, which are performed according to Christian apostolic order, nor will he dissuade anyone from participating in them.